My worry was to get started.
And roll sound, please.
Roger Corman is still making movies his way.
We get this on schedule today, then theoretically we move along.
And action.
Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader is just the latest in the 85-year-old filmmaker's half-century career.
How many movies have you directed?
I've directed, I think, around 60, maybe 59, something like that.
How many movies have you produced?
Now that's a question I've been asked and I don't know, because I think it's around 350.
If on the off chance you never saw Attack of the Crab Monsters, or A Bucket of Blood,
Don't shoot!
or Sharktopus, that may be because they're all independent films, made very quickly for very little money.
I really worked rather efficiently. I planned very heavily in advance.
Efficiently is an understatement. A typical major studio film can take 12 to 18 months to shoot. Corman shot Machine Gun Kelly in just 10 days.
Is there a creative upside to working fast and cheap?
Sometimes there is. You can solve a problem with money or you can solve it creatively.
In that 1958 film, newcomer Charles Bronson led a bank robbery, but Corman didn't have a bank set to shoot in, so it was all done with shadows.
It was done only because I had no interior, but one of the French critics said, what a brilliant idea to show only the outlines of the robbery.
And necessary, too. Corman's always worked on a shoestring budget, refusing to work for anyone but himself.
You have a hard time with authority.
I do have a hard time with authority. I was in the Navy for 2 years. They were the worst 2 years of my life. Any rule they set out, I felt it is my duty to break that rule.
Early on, his rebellious spirit was on screen in the stories he told about teenagers.
Don't be a drag. You know how you flip me.
I'm hip.
Movies for teenagers were generally innocuous teenage comedies. The Disney company specialized in a number of films of that sort.
Fella, you know these dirty, low-down lying cops.
And I understood that youth is not that frivolous, so I dealt with more serious subjects, frankly somewhat exploitation. I had teenage crime, teenage hot rod pictures, and so forth, but they were tougher films, and they succeeded very well.
Piranhas.
What about the damn piranhas?
They're eating the guests, sir.
Corman's movies are first and foremost meant to entertain, he says, the meaning buried in subtext. And yet,
I'm willing to say there are a few of my films in which there was no level of meaning underneath the entertainment whatsoever.
Those would be the many Roger Corman exploitation films.
Do you know you have quite remarkable bone structure?
Oh, thank you.
What is an exploitation movie? What does that mean?
You are exploiting a subject matter. You are taking something, making it exciting, and presenting it in such a way that the audience will come. It can be done in subtle ways, and it can be done in outrageous ways.
And the game's on, let's go!
Outrageous? Sure, if you think women dressed as strippers firing machine guns is outrageous.
What is it about women breaking out of prison that's so exciting?
I think there's something in the unconscious mind. I'm not certain what it is myself, but I know from a box office standpoint, we never missed.
It's movies like these and horror films like The Beast with a Million Eyes that earned him a reputation among some as a cult movie maestro.
From millions of light years away, I approach your planet.
Or worse, a schlockmeister.
I feed on fear, live on human hatred.
How do you feel about the moniker King of the Bees?
I don't particularly like it, but I'm not particularly against it. I could be called something worse. I could be called something better.
There it is, the barrier.
But mixed in with these unforgettably forgettable films, some classics, like A Very Small Picture starring an unknown Jack Nicholson.
Now, no Novocaine. It dulls the senses.
Little Shop of Horrors was done in 2 days and a night. There was a set standing at an independent studio in Hollywood where I had my offices, and it was a very good set.
And why let a set go to waste?
And why let a set go to waste? So I had about $30,000, and I designed a picture that could be made for the $30,000 that I had available.
Feed me!
I'm sorry, pal. I'm fresh out of blood. Talk to somebody else.
I'm hungry!
Come on, Simo, don't be a putz. Trust me, in your life will surely ride a key touch.
As we've seen, Little Shop went on to become a hit stage and movie musical, and Jack Nicholson a giant. Just one of many that got their start under Corman.
Francis Coppola and Marty Scorsese, Ron Howard, Jim Cameron. Of the actors, Charles Bronson, Bob De Niro, Sylvester Stallone.
I work here. Yeah? I'm with the Rainforest Preservation Society.
If you don't remember Fire on the Amazon, you surely recognize lead actress Sandra Bullock.
I mean, this whole thing is just way too convenient.
And I remember thinking, this is the best actress I've worked with in years. I called her agent immediately and said, I've got another picture for Sandra. He said, Roger, you're too late. She's already with the majors.
Did you ever think that focusing on doing things fast and cheap held you back?
It may have. It may have held back the pictures I was making, and it may have held back the perception of what I was doing.
Even so, in 2009, Corman was recognized for his movies with the Lifetime Achievement Oscar.
I really was surprised. I make low-budget films. They will not give an Academy Award to somebody who makes low-budget films.
Okay, I really am scared.
But don't expect Academy Award winner Roger Corman to go all Hollywood on the independent film community.
If Hollywood's a high school, you're definitely the cool teacher.
I would think that would be a reasonable thing, the cool but slightly weird teacher.